All right, we're going to install a hinged Doorworks enclosure on a Evolution D5 4 forward. Here's all the parts. We've got our doors, our brackets, our posts, and our vinyl. First step to this is going to be taking off your windshield, getting the Phillips 3 bolt on the screw on the front, and a 10 millimeter nut on the back. Just pull that off, and that'll be your first step. And then the next thing we're going to do is add the header bar. Starts right here with a 13 millimeter. Remove this factory bolt, and you'll replace it with the enclosed hardware from Doorworks. It goes here, here, and here, or one of those two. We'll get there and show you in a minute. So we're going to take off the factory installed bolt here. It's a 13 millimeter on the nut and a bolt on the front. You start with the second one here from the back, or from the front windshield, second one, and then we'll line up our header bar and show you. Naturally, they give you these replacement bolts right here. This one snapped coming out, a little bit hard, but it's 13 millimeter on both sides. This is a 4 millimeter Allen, and then you do the back handlebar. This is a 10 millimeter, just nut right there. Use a pair of needle nose pliers, pull this little cap off. And then this is the header bar, and it will go on here, just like so, and mount right there. Those tabs mount in each of those directions. Got the header bar installed here. Again, 13 there. These are your little barrel nuts. One right here, one right here, and then you've got your little 10 millimeter right here. You don't actually need to remove that little nipple. I don't know if you can see that. And then there's a little tab right here that you pull out, and it's a Phillips screw head. Got both header bars installed here. And next piece we're going to do is the middle hinge, hinged door frame on the passenger and driver's side. It takes the 1032 1 1/4 inch with a washer and a nut. Washer and nut go, or the bolt and nut go through here like that. And then your post sits on top here. Put the nut on and call it good. Leave it a little loose, it'll dangle down. You'll align everything later on in the video, or later on in the install, and then tighten everything up. The center bolt, or the center bar in, you can see it's just real loose, just gonna hang it on here. Goes down right there. And yes, you will be able to use the armrest. Now we're gonna do the front bar. Similar thing, I'm gonna leave that one a little bit tighter. It's gonna go into this hole right here and just hang down. You'll drill holes in the rocker panel here and actually one in the body later on. Front door post here, you'll notice that these little tabs goes in here. So you put the bolt, nut, and washer through the header bar and then just slide it in. Mine was a little bent, I had to pry it apart a little bit, and then it'll just hang down here until we come in and drill through the rocker in a little bit. The front driver's door installed there. Now we're going to do the rear bars. You can tell the rear bars are quite a bit shorter than the front bars. Again, the holes right there on your header bar and the little F tab goes towards the back of the cart. Put your nut and bolt through that hole, slide it in, tighten it up, but leave it a little bit loose so that you can attach it down to the body. You'll drill a hole in here later. All right, so the next piece was, once we've got our posts installed, to actually install the door frames. And you want to just do this so it lines up. And I just use this quick zip tie to keep them closed. And you want about a 1/4 inch gap in between all of the posts, and then you'll make your marks, drill into the rockers, and got a 1/4 inch gap around here. I measured, well, not right now because they're still loose, but I went and I marked where that is going to place right there. And then what we'll do is we'll drill it in. This is still loose too, so. And then what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna put the front window on. And then once that's nice and tight, I'll make sure that everything lines up and that hole's still where I wanna be. And then I'll drill into the bottom and we'll complete this side, same as the front window on here. The front's A-pillar, B-pillar window. And you can see it's getting tight. And sure enough, it lines up. I don't think you can see that, but I got my little yellow mark. Lines up right there. So now I'm gonna drill a hole through the rocker panel and put the hardware through to get this one tightened up, and then we'll move on back. Here, we've got our 1020 by 1.5 drilled through the fender, or the rocker, and the frame. And then we do the same thing here. Tighten them up. Down there. Got a pretty close gap here. And she opens up. We'll put the door covering on here in a little bit. We'll just do the passenger side here in a minute. The front, both sides installed. We got the middle hinge, dual hinge installed. Now what we need to do is remove this fender. There's just some Phillips head screws, 4 of them. Pull that off, and then the inner fender wall or liner down here, you'll pull down. You'll actually mark a hole. I'll line it up right here. Mark a hole in the body, drill through the body, and then you'll put the final nut and bolt through the body. I'm gonna probably have to lift up a little bit or move the header bar down because I don't really like, it doesn't line up perfectly. Ideally, you want these to be flush. So they want to be touching. So see, the fender has been removed. I've got the hole drilled, and you just lift this down, pull this down. There's a little screw right here in the way. You can pull the body back a little bit and get it around there. But and just stick your 11 millimeter wrench up in here, hold on to that, and then tighten it from the outside, and you're good to go. The fender's back on, the bolts are installed. Pretty good alignment. You want to make sure you're closer down here. You're gonna have to bend this little tab back here to get the fender back on, and then you just kind of push into place. So now we're going to make sure that all of our alignment's good, which it is, and we're gonna throw the door covers on and the armrest things, and then we're gonna work on getting the back cover installed. There's two screws here, 2 screws on the back, and then 2 screws on this side, and it's like the track enclosure, like what I have on my Evolution. And then you'll just slide it in. It'll Velcro to this bar, and you'll be good to go. All right, so we got the covers on. The doors, now sit, and now we're gonna put the door handles on. These just kind of fold through like here, and they flip up right there. And you've got 2 of the plastic washers and one of the 1.5, I think. No washer, no metal washers on these. And this goes through right there, and then flips up, goes down and locks in. Locks into place like that. Right, so once the install's in, that's what it should look like. And then just set it, locks like that. So we got the sides on here and the door handles on. Now we're gonna put the back in. You've got these tracks. Looks like they only have 1 hole, so I'll have to drill another hole there. But the back one slides in here, and then you just drill the holes through the roof and put the nut or the bolt and washer on the outside and the nut on the inside. So you do 1 here, 1 on this side, on the driver's side, 1 on the passenger side, and then your back cover will just slide into the track enclosure there. I drilled my holes through here, just slid this up. It's easiest to drill the hole. Just use this as a template and then come inside the cart and drill the hole from here back through. And then you'll just tighten them up with a 10 and an 8. And then you'll do the same thing on the sides. You got these installed, the sides all installed and velcroed over. Up there, here and here. And you can see your door here. And then you've got a window right here. So this slides, rolls up and attaches here. You can see you still have full access to the trunk. If you were going to use this for golf, this would be more of a permanent install because you'd have to drill holes here for your golf bag attachment, and this would just stay on. Or I'm sure you could cut this out somehow and make it so that it's removable. But the same exists on the Doorworks enclosure. That's the slide-in track enclosure. You just kind of a miss on Doorworks' part, in my opinion, there. But all that's left now is we need to mark the holes for the windshield here and here, and they want you to do like a soldering iron or whatever to kind of burn through there so that you can put your windshield mounts on or windshield bolts through. And then what I need to do is mark the location for all of these snaps, and then those snaps will just screw in. I typically will use not the screw-in type, but just the hole and pop rivet them on, because these will get some force on them, and those screw-in ones tend to rip out. So after that, we're done. You can see I just used a soldering iron to go through here. The top one doesn't require it, but this is for the windshield. And then you can come in here and just solder right there, and then you're good to go. All right, I got the buttons installed. Basically, you just line this up here, mark your spot with a little Sharpie, and then just drill the screw-in snaps there. The one down here, it interacts, it butts up right with the frame. A better way of doing it would be to use like a pass-through and a pop rivet, drill it through the frame. I may update that later, but for now it's good. But yeah, here it is, fully installed. Got the windshield back on. Obviously, zip up windows on the front and rear doors. The only thing I didn't do is I didn't install the standouts that go right here. Those are what allows you to open the door and keep the door open while you're trying to go golfing or something like that. But this cart's not going to be used for golf, so it doesn't matter. The thing that I like about this versus the track enclosure, you have really good entrance and departure, egress, whatever, both front and rear. On the track enclosure, you can't hardly get into the back. So it opens up really nice and wide. And then if you can see here on the track enclosure, it stops right here. And that's all you got. You have to unsnap it there and then get in and have somebody snap you. And then on the other entry side, you really got that. It's just not as convenient to get in and out. Now it is cheaper, but not that much cheaper. So, yep, full functioning trunk, windows all around, and yeah, looks good. Pretty easy to install. It took about 3 hours, and that's with me yapping around. So, all right, have a good day.